Oh, then yeah, you'll love this. Okay, I'm gonna go live in. Let me actually check the title. SRM Esports Season 4, Round 7, Belgium Grand Prix. That's correct, right? Round 7? Yeah, because last week was Brazil. Alright, start going live in 3, 2, 1. Just, I'll introduce us and we'll get underway. But of course, first I need to, get everything up and try to copy it over to the, what's it called? To the Discord. Sure is taking a while. Gotta love this game, tell ya. I'm on now. I'm seeing the live icon, but just for some reason it's not popping up. Do you guys see it up?
Give me 1 minute, I'll check my YouTube.
Yeah, because if that's... Yeah, because if it's possible, if you're able to get it up, potentially copy it over and send it to the Discord. But for some reason, it's not popping up.
I got it.
You got it? Do you mind sending it over?
Discord.
You can put it in the streams tab and the general chat. You can put at everyone and you'll be fine.
Alright, I've put it. That's general.
At everyone, we are live, and then you'll be set. I just don't know why I'm not having it pop up. Hold on, let me restart my my browser. And I'm having that noise in the background. Give me a sec. Yeah, for some reason I just don't have it up. Kind of confused about it.
What is it, SRM stream or is it just stream?
Is on the Discord?
Ah, the stream room. There it is.
Yeah, so it's the stream room, and you can also put it in general chat, just at everyone, and you'll be fine. Just for some reason, I'm just not having it pop up on my end. It's kind of annoying. It's like for some reason everything's been slow today. Like it's took me a while to receive the invite because of my connectivity. I'm on. Alright, what if I just search up SRM Esports? Okay, now it just... Okay. It's up. Alright.
Yeah, you know I've already posted it in the stream chat now.
Oh, beautiful. Alright, well... With that being said, my my connectivity being a little bit finicky on our end. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Wednesday to everyone around the world. We are here, back at it again for SRM Esports Season 4, Round 7 at the Belgian Grand Prix. Of course, the two main commentators, as always, Justin and James. How you doing, James?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
However, it's not just us this time. We have a special guest that you actually surprised me with. I was a little bit finicky at the start because he would never tell me who it was, but he is here, the Ferrari driver, Michael F1. How you doing, my man? Welcome to the comps box.
Hi.
Come on, get that energy. Let's go. I saw you trying it. I saw you trying it. Come on.
Let's have it. Come on, Michael.
Why am I saying like shitty?
Hold on. No, you can't butcher this. Right.
Come on.
Good morning, Vietnam.
There you go. Right. Hello, James and Justin. Happy to be in the comms for you just for qualifying. I have a quali band for this evening.
Yes, and hopefully, hopefully you still do well. I've always seen a lot of people start from the back and make their way up the front. But thanks again for coming in. How you looking forward to this race?
I had a bit of a plan for quali. I thought I'll give team tactics for a bit of slipstream up the hill, so we'll hopefully be at the front. But obviously that's not going to happen, so I'm rooting for my teammate Grimmy to do all on his own. But yeah, I am still looking forward to it, despite having a grip quali ban.
Well, let's see this now. You can see in the session, everyone is rating up. Everyone's getting very excited here to start round 7. I'm looking at the chat. Cameron, how you doing, my man? Hello, sexies. That is definitely not me included. That's only going to be for James and Michael.
Hey, I break mirrors on a daily. How dare you, sir?
No, I'm saying, yeah, hello, sexies. Yeah, that does not include me. I'm the ugly one in this relationship, okay? So keep it at that. But, but Charlie's in there. Would y'all like an extra driver for tonight?
Oh,
I mean,
here we go.
Yeah,
He's been
James,
trying so difficult to get into this league. He was literally trying so hard to get into this league.
I mean, I have posted in the. I have messaged Marky privately, and I have posted in the Discord, but I had no response over that, so there was nothing I could do for that, I'm afraid.
He needs to be. I think they still want him to do a driver's test, so to speak.
Yeah, a little bit of a trial.
Yes, before actually.
James, come on, there is 3 spaces for God's sake.
Hey, I'm just assured. I'm no admin, okay?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But of course, with any sort of round here for SRM Esports, we have the standings to go over it. And Michael, since you are the special one here, and of course, since you are up the front of the standings in second, would you like to go through? Would you like to do the rundown?
Oh, you want me to do the rundown of?
Let's have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For the drivers, we can just go to top 10 because covering all 20 would be a little bit.
Okay, you're literally asking a special person to pronounce a name. So
let's do it. Let's hear it.
If any of the drivers are watching, I really do apologise. It's not my first time calling most of you out. But as it stands, after the Brazilian Grand Prix, we have Battlesy Mini on top of the. I was going to top of the world. With 223 points from myself on 102 points, followed by Far and Grimmy on 100. Fuck's sake. Sorry.
Hey, that's alright. Hey, yo, first time cheaters. You're alright.
Right, followed by Fire with 96 and Grimmy with 95, so a point between them, and Dundrees as 83 points. Marky not far behind with 73 points. Dopey Lemons 81. Angry Dutch Guy 58. And Richard with 44. And Steve with 44 as well, tied with the Mercedes.
Just got one query for you there, Michael. That's quite the lead for Battlesy Mini with 223 points there.
Oh, come on. Hey, it's his first time. James, now, hold on. Hey. Now, if you're talking about anything that anybody messed up, it was when I called you Jeremy because of your freaking autocorrect on your shit, okay? So don't you dare try. Like, Michael, that's actually how it went down, because I think it was first at Barcelona, Catalunya, when we had that, and it was the funniest thing. He sent me a message on Discord. Well, actually, I sent him a message saying, hey, how you doing? I heard that you're trying to do comms. He says, yes, my name is Jeremy. I say Jeremy in the freaking thing. He says, no, it's James. I'm like, look at your freaking message, goddammit! But yeah, but of course, but actually with that rounding up the driver standings, let's move now towards the constructors. And leading the way is actually Battlesy Mini's team of well, not Battlesy Mini. See, I messed up right there. Michael F1's team.
Thank God.
Michael F1's team of the Ferrari with 197 points. 34 points behind is going to be the Williams with 163. Then we have the Red Bull 134, McLaren 123, Alpine 104, Mercedes 88, Aston Martin 68, Haas 39, Alfa Romeo 33, and at the back, AlphaTauri with 31 points to their name. And that rounds up at the end of round 6, the Brazilian Grand Prix. And now, with Spa-Francorchamps, the Belgian Grand Prix here tonight. This is actually a pretty historic track in the Formula 1 scene, actually, ladies and gentlemen. First ever Grand Prix back in 1950. And it's actually the longest track out in the 2021 calendar, 7 kilometers long. For the circuit, we're looking around at race distance of 154 kilometers, where with this track it takes no prisoners at all. If you mess up, and you're gone. Pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael, what corner do you think is deadliest on this track? Or most technical?
Well, I think the first deadliest corner would probably be the first corner in the second sector. Obviously, far going backwards in the middle part of the lap. I don't know what part of the lap that is, but it's the quick right and left. Basically, just hit the curb and just lost the car entirely. But pretty much most of the curbs on this track are pretty deadly, so you just have to just keep on the tarmac and hopefully for the best, really. But yeah, up the hill in the middle sector and that fast left-hander as well. I can't remember the name on that. But yeah, those are the two
downhill
main...
in sector 2.
Yeah, basically.
So
then
yeah, that's actually called the unnamed corner. It doesn't actually have a name, which is a bit odd. But yeah, turn 10 and 11, and I think sector 2 is going to be the really key part there, and I think you would agree. 10 corners just in that one sector, out of 19 throughout the whole entire track.
Well, yeah, because that's pretty much where your best lap time is going to be, because the first sector and last sector is pretty much the straights. You only just got like one corner in the first sector, and 3 corners in the last. So yeah, it's all about just straight line speed, and it's all what you can do in that middle sector.
Of course. However, in Belgium, we've actually seen it multiple times where there could be potential for a wet race or some sort of wet condition. But Steve, okay, he just fully glitched out on my end. So it looked like he went into the wall. Apparently, he pulled his time watch and flashed back onto the track, and he is back normal. However, with that being said, actually, Michael, since you're actually going to be out there at the end of quali, what are you anticipating to happen? Are you anticipating a lot of safety cars? Are you anticipating just continuous racing for 22 laps? What are you anticipating out there?
Well, I think everyone would be happy maybe just for maybe one safety car, because I think it could easily be a one-stop race. I mean, we have seen Steve did it on last year's game, but yeah, I don't think it will make too much difference of having 1 or 2 safety cars here and there, because it is an overtaking track. Obviously, a McLaren spinning in the middle sector, which is
Tomo, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it really matters too much of safety cars or not, because it is an overtaking track, really. So I think it all should be fine either way, whatever happens, as long as you keep on the track, of course.
Of course, and let's say, are you confident in this race? Of course, you're currently second in the driver standings, leading the constructors with your teammate as well, of Grimmy. Are you confident at Spa here tonight, or are you a little bit rusty, would you say?
Well, James knows that I don't really practice after a race, because basically in my mindset, if I practice too much and if I crash during the race, it will just wind me up even more. So you might as well just save all your energy just for that race. All I do is just practice for like 15 minutes just for a setup, really. I don't care about the time sectors and all that. I just care about how the car feels. But yeah, I do feel confident, but I mean, it is racing, anything can happen, so we just have to really wait and see when it actually comes to that.
Well, good luck to you as always, but so far in qualifying, 10 odd minutes left here, with Steve still having the fastest lap at 143.741, and I'm thinking if there's a theoretical best, I'm thinking we could be looking at around a 143.2 potentially by some of the drivers. Of course, we still have Battle Z Mini going with a 144.1, but I know he can definitely get a little bit faster. F1 Farth, a very good Saturday man. People like to call it for always producing it on qualifyings. But with you, James, actually, what would you say is your opinion of this track?
Me personally, not good experience with this track. That S-bend always caught me out, as Michael always knows. Anytime I do practice, we tend to be in a party, and, well, yes, I tend to spin out a lot on the S up pit less. But apart from that, I don't really struggle with this track.
Well, that's fair, but anything can happen with Spa. Of course, being the longest track in the calendar, it definitely takes a lot of people by surprise. Of course, even in the real life scenarios where it was a wet qualifying where we saw Lando Norris actually crash out up El Rouge right before the Camel Straight, and it's just like with Spot, it's never a dull moment. Even in the wettest conditions, even in the hottest of days, you always see something happening. However, we could be looking at a new pole sitter. F1 Farth is making his way down towards Sector 3, Purple Sector 1 and 2, so could be taking the pole position here as he's making his way now towards 17, the double apex, now towards the bust-up chicane. Can F1 Farth make his way up the timing grid? He only has 2 corners left to go around the bust-up chicane. He goes on the throttle. It looks like it's going to be a good time here, and he goes with a 143.137, so around my theoretical best, but now that's going to put it down to potentially 142s, but let's see who's going to be the one to take it. But an extraordinary start there for F1 Farth.
Absolutely. Now, Michael, got a question for you. Starting from the back of the grid, where do you reckon you could get up to in this track?
Like I say, it all depends of like safety cars and whatnot during the race, and what's the start going to be like. Is it going to be dramatic, or is it taking cautious? Me personally, I will take cautious on the first lap, so we'll know where everyone is settled in. And I think from the back of the grid, I think a good result is decent result. But because it's a track you can overtake and overtake well, we'll see. I'm hoping to get more than 5th, but I'll be happy with 5th nonetheless.
Well, hopefully you get up there. You're fighting for the Drivers' Championship, as always. But one thing I actually do got to ask you, when it comes to the strategy out here, with it being a little bit of a cooler day here, could you be looking at a one-stop strategy here? Or do you think a two-stop strategy would be more beneficial?
Well, if there's a safety car, then yeah, definitely a 2-stop, because you want that pace advantage as much as you can, because those little things can work for you massively. Again, as I said so many times, it's a track you can overtake it pretty much most of every corner, so you don't have to really worry about getting hold up or anything. But yeah, if there was no safety cars, it could maybe be a one-stop, but it depends how well you look after the tyres, of course. Like if you just stay behind someone, lift off the throttle and save fuel and battery, you can easily try and make a one-stop from there.
Well, let's see, because I remember the last time I've actually spoken to Michael was I forget which Grand Prix it was, but it was just it was a race that you just was never one to remember again, and of course I'm bringing it up now. But
thanks.
I think well, this is where it gets to the good part. I think since then you really have been putting in that effort to just get a little bit more cautious out there on the track. And we've all been seeing you improve ever since that scenario, and I already know you were at a down low after that race, and it's good to see you just bring it back, especially last week at Brazil. You had an extraordinary performance. Unfortunate with some of the decisions that were made after, but you still held your own, so it was still a very, very good race, would you say?
What, Italy or the race after that?
It was Brazil last week.
Oh, you're on about Brazil. Oh, yeah. I think, to be honest, I didn't really have a technically good setup. I know the back end was very, very titchy, slidey. As I got that 10-second penalty, actually, which you actually described yourself was really spot on to. Good job from you. But thankfully that got taken off. But unfortunately, I did make contact with Dundrees, and it was my fault, and I take the blame for that. So I do feel I think I do feel sorry for Dundrees, because he does deserve more points than he does in this championship. Because I think we pretty much all agree he should have won last week's race.
Yeah, I think. I mean, well, either way, what happened, to be honest with you. And if you just dwell on the past for long enough, it's not going to be a good scenario for you. But it's still good to see, like you guys, just learning from those mistakes, talking about it, trying to get a solution and like resolve the problem. And I think that's the one good thing about SRM Esports. Actually, it's just that the community, like you guys have a lot of respect for each other out on the track, especially with what you just said, with Don Dries, and I know that if he watches this back, he's really going to appreciate that as well. But still, it was a good finish. You actually surpassed the Williams on points at Brazil, regardless of that incident or not. And is that the main thing that you're going to be focusing on here throughout the rest of the season? Are you going to be focusing on trying to secure that constructors, or are you going to be pushing against Battle Z Mini to try and get even closer to that Drivers' Championship?
I think the target is both, really, because I've never really done it in both of one season. I mean, I know I came back to SRM halfway through the season last season, so I don't know what would have happened if I was here full time. But can't take anything away from Battle Z Mini or anyone else for that matter. But it looks like a pretty good season. From my point of view, it looked like, even though he's leading the standings by quite a long way, Battle Z Mini, he does seem a little bit, I would say, stiff off the first few races, because he hasn't really been up there, but because of everyone, including myself, getting penalties, he's just been very consistent, and that's just the key when you come to these championships. Yeah, he's just been phenomenal so far, and if he keeps us up, it'll be another title to his name.
Well, it looks like you have a little bit of support in the chat, actually, Michael. I believe Alicia Slinecki. I'm sorry if I messed up that name.
Yeah.
But
oh no, you should hear Michael trying to say it.
Yeah, Slonecki.
Slinecki.
You see, he can't even say it. That's not. It's Slinecki.
Yeah. Of course, to the people that don't know back at home, Michael F1.
Sorry, we got a Haspin, which is Pablo.
Yeah, but we're actually on him right now. Lost his front wing as well.
You're the comms guys. I can't
No, I'm watching. Hey, I'm watching it right now. He has no front wing. He's making his way down turn 8.
All right.
But
wait. Just for like 3 seconds now. What is it? Quick.
You say a Slinecki.
Okay, thank you so much. But
there you go. Right, got that out of the way.
Hey, enjoy your night out. Enjoy your night out.
She's only going to the shop.
Well, she just said that she's okay, hold on. She said in the chat she's going out. Like, when someone says that they're going out to like a club or a party. Okay.
Well, okay,
I still need to get used to British terminology, okay? So give me a break. But especially for you, she says she's going out, but hope you guys have a great race. And of course, she's always backing up your corner. Very loyal she is. And it's good to see that as well. And do you think that that helps you with a little bit more motivation when you come into the races, having her in your garage practically?
Well, I always have a bit of a mindset before I go into races and qualifying, but I think with stuff like that, and especially with you guys as well, it's just adds let's say banter to the start of the race, so everyone's in a good mood, and then gets all down to the good stuff where racing counts. So yeah, I think it's all good support wherever they may be in the world.
Thank you so much. That warms up my heart a little bit to say that our commentary and our little banter, calling each other shit practically at the beginning of each race, it gives you guys a little bit of joy. So I love to thank you so much. It actually gives me a lot of love. Actually, I really do appreciate that. Really do.
Have you got any tissues? You get emotional.
I mean a little bit, because I've had a lot of stuff with people talk about with my commentary, and especially recently, like actually yesterday. So hearing that really does warm up my heart a little bit, Michael. So really do appreciate it. But yeah. But again, since qualifying is over, I think that you need to get yourself in the mindset now, as we're about our favorite. Okay, one, I'm not American. I'm Bermudian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not from America. I'm from the Bermudian Islands. Near the Bermuda Triangle. Do you know Bermuda Triangle?
I don't really.
Okay.
Well, but let me tell you one thing. You're talking to the guy that thought China was in Russia.
Okay, we'll move on. Good luck to you, Michael, at the race. Good luck to you, Michael, at the race. No worries, Alicia, you're good. But yeah, good luck to you in the race. A few minutes. Of course, special guest, Michael F1, ladies and gentlemen. Second in the driver standings, leading the constructors. Good luck to you, my man. Good luck to everyone else in the race here tonight. Let's get this show on the road. And see, Alicia, we both mess up with both sides. I mess up your last name, you mess up my nationality. It's perfectly fine. It's an even trade, we'll say. It's an even trade. Have a safe drive, please. But with that, at the final moments, F1 Farth crosses the line with provisional pole, 142.771. So extraordinary time there. Andy Smokesman has actually invalidated his time coming around the final corners, and he's going to start at the back with Michael F1. And then we see Kiddo cross the line, does not improve on his position. However, that's going to be it for qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. F1 Farth is your pole sitter here tonight on the front row. Let's see how he takes this now with Dopey Lemon's going to be on the outside. Now, James.
Hello.
extraordinary time there from F1 Farth in the Alpine with a 142.7. So he is definitely going to be one to watch in this race. Of course, same with Michael F1 starting at the back after serving a quali ban. But who would you say is going to be a third driver to watch here tonight?
Oh,
tough questions now.
Yeah, because you see, I'm looking at Dopey Lemon's time, and if he can keep that consistent, he's going to be one to watch. But also, Dundrees and Battlesy Mini, I can see them having a really good battle in Belgium. With their times being quite similar, I can see that happening.
Well, let's see how these drivers take it now. This is going to be an extraordinary race. Don't go anywhere. We're just seconds away to start SRM Esports here for Season 4, Round 7!
Oh, it's raining!
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know why I'm having this reaction. I saw it in the chat. Someone ruined it for us, but
hey, they ruined it for you. I had no idea.
It's still a wet race here tonight. Looks like it's not too heavy on the rain, so it's just intermediate green tire compounds. Charlie says, "Nah, me." I mean, if I go up, oh, actually, no, it was Cameron Barber. Yep. Thank you, Cameron. Appreciate it. But it looks like we could be starting with a formation lap, or are we going to go straight in? Formation lap.
Formation
to
lap.
start off. But now, with actually F1 Farth being on the inside of turn 1, do you think that's actually going to be the best outcome for him? Or would you actually rather start on the outside, James?
Me, personally, I'd rather start on the outside.
I actually would have to agree with you there, because you would have the faster line on the outside, you'll be carrying a lot more speed, and it just comes down to the start. If F1 Farth has a better start than Dopey Lemons, that he has that corner all to himself. He can move to the outside right before the corner, and then he'll have that racing line. Where if Dopey Lemons is like right there with F1 Farth, they're going to be battling it out, and I think Dopey Lemons is going to be the one to come out on top. So
it's mainly to do with the first corner incidents. First corner incidents are so common in F1 leagues. People try to go in too hard, too fast, and it always happens. Like, there's a good 90% chance it happens on the inside. So I always want to be on the outside of that, so I can go around any incidents, I can got time to avoid them. It's just my preference that.
Well, we both have the same preference here, so no judging from me. Probably judging for the people that are actually starting on the inside. They're gonna be like, "Oh, what? Now we're gonna be caught off guard." Thanks for the support, James. Really do appreciate you. But
what can I say? Commentators curse. It might never happen, or it might.
Commentators curse might not never happen. Do you know me? James, do you realize who is sitting next to you in the comms box right now?
Yeah.
The amount of times, not only in this league, but the amount of times in multiple leagues where I've commentary cursed so many people, and to be honest with you, I absolutely freaking enjoy it sometimes. Because like the funniest thing is like I always get those messages at the end. You cursed me, goddammit! And I'm like, well, I mean, all I say is words. You're the one behind the wheel. But it's the funniest thing is like when you come into the commentary box, it's like you have so much power in your hands, and like you could just have the Infinity Gauntlet and just snap every time you say something that might happen.
Oh, absolutely! It's a joyous thing to see. Like I could say right now, Dundrees is gonna come first. He could crash out. That is then my curse, the commentator's curse.
Alright, well, Dundrees, there you go, starting off. Excellent, excellent. As I'm slowly, if I had my camera, you would love to see this, because I'm slowly rubbing my hands together. Yes. James has now
I've just realised you have not done your top 3.
Fuck.
You ain't getting away with it.
Alright, okay, well, hold on. Okay, F1 Fars, Battle Z Mini, and I think Michael could be in that top 3.
You see, I would be tempted to go with Favre, but with the time, I don't know whether he's seen if it's a wet race or not.
Well, he's gonna see it now with 5 red lights out on the field. We are now lights out, underway to start round 7 of SRM
Lemons has got him.
And who was that? Mogi goes right with the throttle into the wall. Dopey Lemons now around the outside. As we did predict, he's looking for the space. But
Dundrees on the inside.
Dundrees is looking at it. They're going to go side to side, but Dundrees does pull out. A very difficult to go side to side up El Rouge. But it looks like Tomo and Richard are going at it. Richard trying to squeeze around the outside. Tomo trying to close the door. It is 3 wide, but not from the camera angle that I'm giving, goddammit!
Oh, there's contact!
Then, yeah, a little
Kittle
contact.
just keeps
as the Haas now, Pablo right on Kittle. Kittle now goes down to 11th.
And Andy Smoke's making some progress from the back of the grid to 12th place.
Yes, and now he is battling out with Angry Dutch Guy, as Michael F1 is right there as well, trying to get his nose in there. But all of them keep it safe. But so far, F1 Fart still leads the race in the lead. It looks like we have Michael going on Angry Dutch Guy. And he's done it. Michael
also,
did say earlier. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Mogi has dropped 12 positions down. I've only just realized.
Yeah, what's it called? At the race start, he went on the throttle a little bit too much there, and he went shooting into the right side wall.
Yes, I'm seeing the end plate missing.
Yeah, he lost his right end plate, and now he is behind Polesgot Bowl by 5.2 seconds now. But Andy Smokes mid, and Angry Dutch Guy, closest battle out on the field so far. This long sweeping left-hander of Sector 3. As they now make their way towards the bus-up chicane. Pablo Juarez and Kittle still having themselves a battle. Pablo Juarez
spin!
Goes over the corner, and Kittle goes on the throttle a little too much on the exit there. Falls down to 16th. Same goes with Polesgot Bo and KG Lairs, as they both had a collision. KG Lairs comes worse out of it with no front wing. So Spa already taking a lot of prisoners out here. But let's see who's going to be the one to mess up, because up El Rouge now with no front wing, very difficult to pull off. Oh, and there's a VSC on the field due to the debris on the track as well.
And it turns out my dog has just joined us.
Hey! What's her name again?
Poppy.
Hey! Poppy! And it looks like we're back to green lights. Pablo Juarez, a little bit of contact between him and Michael F1. Pablo Juarez did not see Michael on the inside there. You can see it has shaken him up a little bit through the the chicane at the end of the Camel Straight. But now Michael is still trying to fight out. He wants to get into that top 10. He was aiming for a 5th place finish here tonight. Let's see if he can pull it off. Now lap 2 of 22.
And Michael and Pablo, they're the closest battling right now. There's no one else currently.
But we're actually going to be on board with Pablo Juarez on his rear view, actually. And you can see the amount of spray that is going into Michael F1's visor at this point. And Michael F1 still trying to close the gap. He does have the slipstream. He has the faster exit. And he's looking for it. Pablo Carnes actually gives the position. He does not want to battle out. And he's going to slot right behind in 11th place. So a beautiful overtake there from Michael F1.
And quite a sensible move from Pablo, letting the faster driver pass, maybe even getting pulled along a little bit by the slipstream.
Well, it's going to be tough, though, as he's now already
spun!
Out below. Oh, has he spun now? Yes, he has, into the wall. Has he lost front wing? Because on my end, he still has his front wing, but I saw some debris down on the field.
That was a board. That was a board.
Oh, okay. Well, still, we gotta go back up with the front. What a start for F1 Forest. Now ahead by 1.7 seconds, as he did put a purple sector 1 at the end of the Camel Straight.
Yeah, the thing is, though, Dopey Lemons had him off the start. Dopey just couldn't find the grip on that outside lane. And
it also comes down to the warming of the rubbers out there. As F1 Forest, you saw him at the start just continuously going side to side at the beginning of this race. But now with the intermediate tires, we could be looking at a potential one-stop. But of course, if you start on a wet compound, you're not validated. You don't have to actually make a pit stop. If these drivers have the ability, they can actually go until the end on these set of intermediates. But of course, you want to make that pit stop to make some sort of leeway potentially for a extra point of a fastest lap.
Absolutely, in a championship, every point counts. You've got to get the fastest lap. You got to try and get that driver of the day. Anything you can.
Exactly, and of course, if people don't are watching back at home and they actually didn't know that, we actually have a lot more power. Well, not power, I would say, a lot more of a responsibility in the comms box, as well as whoever we decide for driver of the day, they actually get an extra point as well. So they don't only have to put out a good performance out there for points in the standings, but also they have to impress us back at the comms box to get as many points as possible as well. Well, Michael F1 has been on a resurgence. Both of the Ferrari drivers are getting themselves into a battle. Grimmy right on the behind of Steve, and Michael F1 right on the behind of Thibaut Courtois in 9th place.
I forgot you gave him that name.
Yeah. Oh, and look at here, Michael F1 trying to pull the switch back. Thibaut around the outside, down the Camel Straight. Michael breaks a little bit later on the inside, and he gets the position, just like the real life scene. Ferrari coming out on top of the Red Bull.
That could have ended dramatically differently for these two drivers if the contact had been made. Oh, I could have seen that go somewhere different.
Exactly, but still a very, very good race start for Michael F1. For basically 3.5 laps in, and he has gained 7 positions from 16th place up to 9th, and of course our biggest loser, Mogi, spinning it around at the start of the Grand Prix.
Absolutely, and there's battle for 5th right now. Grimmy staying with Steve every single turn.
And you can see that he has that dedication to just stay within that dirty air, get that bit of spray. He's going to be having to get a lot of warm towels at the end of this race. However, can he be the one to catch Steve out on a mistake and move up to 5th place?
But also Battlesy Mini fighting it out with Dundrees. Just like I said, those two having a nice little battle with Dundrees coming out on top for now.
And I remember back at Brazil, these two had themselves a little bit of a battle up turn 6 and 7. Actually on the turns before that of turn 4 and 5, almost pulling a Max Verstappen Lewis Hamilton sort of situation. But as it stands now, they're keeping it clean. Dundrees is actually catching up with Dopey Lemons. But who can catch up to F1 Farth at this point? Because he is on a flyer of a race start.
F1 Farth, this is obviously a track of his liking. Obviously this wet is must be doing something for him. He must love this track in the wet, while other drivers are struggling a little bit to find that grip line.
Well, of course, with Spa-Francorchamps, very, very, well, let's say prone to have a wet race in the F1 game and in real life as well. Quite frequent when they make their way down there and it's a wet weather. However, so far you already see a lot of drivers doing a lot better compared to the others. Michael F1 is starting to close in on Tomo, now within a second as they are entering the middle of Sector 2.
Courtois out.
The ball has crashed out on the unnamed corner of turns 10 and 11.
Oh,
and that's
he's
gonna
touched
make him
the inside.
Out of this race.
He
We're
had
actually
to
gonna
have
go on
touched
board.
it.
Yep. Pablo Jara is going very slow for us. Really do appreciate that. He's checking in on Tribal to see if he is okay out there. And it looks like he got out of the car. He's gonna be fine. Gonna get a quick checkup, probably a mild concussion. But with that collision with the wall, he is gonna go and let the safety car out as
Someone went in the pits. Dundrees.
Let's see what he's thinking here. Because if with those only 5 lap old intermediates, I wouldn't have gone in.
Unless he's thinking he can make that set last to the very end of this race.
I mean, one thing that I saw yesterday actually in a different league, it was actually at Silverstone, where it was a dry, like today, it was a dry quali wet race, and we actually had a late puncture because every time the safety car came out, the guy was already passing the pit entrance at the Vale chicane. And he had a puncture on the penultimate lap. Someone that was doing the same thing got a puncture on the final lap. So, and with it being the wet weather, they don't have to make a pit stop if they can nurse those tires. But of course, it's a huge, huge, huge challenge for these drivers.
So you had a bit of the Lewis Hamilton incident twice there.
Pretty much, actually. So, it was the lap prior, so that was practically Valtteri Bottas in that scenario.
Yeah.
And then you had Lewis Hamilton at the end, but unfortunately, unlike Lewis Hamilton, he did not win the race.
Yeah.
Still put in a good effort, though. But,
Absolutely.
But one thing about this track, though, that I'm actually surprised of, not many people with a time penalty, and if there was, it was at the end of a virtual safety car restart around the bus stop chicane.
Yeah,
and
only 3 drivers, which is Pablo, Kittel, and Tomo.
Yeah, and I think Tomo was the only one that actually had a had a corner cut. Pablo Juarez with 13 seconds actually, so I think he had 3 incidents with his end. Kittle actually with 3 seconds as well, so he cut the corners. But that's the one thing about this track as well. Very prone to time penalties out there, and I think that could be the main decider in this race of SRM Esports.
Absolutely. That and also whether they can nurse those tires.
Of course, you always have those tough corners, like the sweeping double left-hander of turn 10 and 11 in the middle of Sector 2. Of course, you also have El Rouge, where you're fighting against those G-forces to keep that car on the tarmac. And of course, you have the bus-up chicane, whereas we're in these wet conditions, pretty prone to lock up those tires as well. So it just comes down to the consistency and the safety of these drivers.
Angry Dutch goes in the pits.
A bit of a late pit stop call for him, and same goes with Pablo Juarez, and I do want to say Mogi as well.
Yeah, it does say Mogi is in the pit. So this is actually putting Andy in the points.
Wow. Well, so far, these the drivers making up the most positions has done an extraordinary job. Of course, Andy Smokes mid up 8, Michael up 8 as well. So basically, as they started, practically forward and back of each other. From the back of the field, and they've pushed up to the middle pack now. So if you were Battle Z Mini, of course Michael F1 is your main contender main competitor of the Drivers' Championship. Would that give you a little bit of would that make you a bit uneasy by seeing how successful Michael F1 is doing in this race, or are you just going to be, he's in 7th, I'm in 3rd, we're still in a good position here?
Well, it depends if Battlesy Mini actually realizes how far up the field Michael is. Because being a driver, I know you only get the first 3 cars behind you. So he might not even know that Michael is so close behind him. Because all the drivers he sees is Grimmy and Richard.
Yeah, that is true, yeah. But, of course, if with all of these drivers, they're going to keep their head down and potentially keep their hair dry in those helmets. Of course, with the wet weather as well, a lot of visual complications with these cars. Of course, you have the halo column right in the middle of the halo, and of course you have the wet weather, so you're getting a lot of that splash from the rear wing of the drivers ahead of you, going to be obstructing your visuals out there on the track. So a lot of these drivers keeping it clean, keeping their head down, just remembering the track from muscle memory at this point, and doing an exceptional job, I gotta say.
The place you don't want to be is exactly where Michael and Andy are, middle of this pack. They're going to get all of this spray from first all the way down to 7th.
Well, not just that. Is that also they actually have to watch out for the drivers behind them, because they can be alright with watching out for the cars in front of them, even with the difficulties of the wet weather. But also, even if they get that right, the drivers behind them could get it wrong, and that can just either destroy the diffuser, destroy their engine, as it's pretty prone with the rear contact. But now F1 Farth is going to be restarting after the safety car start of lap 8 out of 22, and had a little bit of a slippery exit around there, but still a good start. Steve with an extraordinary restart there. It's going to be right on the tail end of Battlesy Mini, as we have a spin at the back, I do believe, of Pablo Juarez, as he spins around the bust-up chicane. We're actually going to go on board with Steve. I think he might try to catch out Battlesy Mini here, up El Rouge and down the Camel Straight. He is using the ERS.
Oh, Grimmy's
he has
off.
the slipstream. Oh, Grimmy has spun, and he has no front wing. But Steve is going to look around the outside of Battlesy Mini, and he's going to get the position at the end of the Camel Straight. And now Michael is in Battlesy Mini's radar, so he really needs to try and get that gap away from them.
Yeah, Battlesy Mini is now aware of where Michael is, and this might put the pressure on Battlesy Mini, because he knows Michael is his main rival in this championship. He needs to get points on Michael, so he needs to be further up this field than what he'd like to be right now.
And you can see he's trying to stay right on the tail end of Steve and trying to get out of that Mercedes sandwich. As Steve gets a little bit of a wider line here, Battlesy Mini could be looking around the outside. He's sticking his nose in. But, of course, Steve stays ahead. Steve, good defensive line on the inside there. Battlesy Mini still struggling to get past the Mercedes driver. However, we're looking right behind them as well with them battling. Richard is starting to get a little bit close as well.
Yeah, Steve, this might be the plan for Steve. Hold Battlesy Mini up enough so Richard can get in on this fight.
Well, you can see how close they are. And actually, Michael is actually closing up on Richard now as he has a slow exit around the bust-up chicane. And we could definitely see Michael starting to battle with Battlesy Mini later on in this race. I say the striking distance between those two could be in the next 3 laps, I'm going to predict.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it could even be shorter than that. It all comes down to how hard Steve, Battlesy Mini and Richard all fight out. If they start fighting out too early, Michael can be up there catching them.
Well, let's see this now. Richard is in defensive mode. He's trying to break the slipstream. Michael F1 now within 3/10, coming down to the chicane at the end of the Camel Straight. And he's still holding on. He's trying to get close enough, fighting against those that dirty air and that splash as well. But it looks like he's still keeping it in. But one thing I do gotta say though, James, is it just me or is it getting a little bit brighter out here?
I was just looking at that myself. The rain doesn't look like it's coming down as hard.
Do you think we could be looking at a mixed setup here?
I don't know, the rain's still coming down reasonably hard, so...
But it is easing up a little bit though, so that could give us a little bit of a hint to the end of this race. And actually you can start seeing it as well when it comes down to the downhills of this track, where you would suspect there to be a lot of the puddles. There actually is no puddles as well, and barely any sort of splash coming off of those cars. So I think we could be looking at a potential early switch for some of these drivers if there's another safety car to a set of slicks. But of course anything can still happen. Battle Z Mini is trying to get the better exit around the bus stop chicane, which he does actually. He's closing the gap now on Steve ahead for that podium position, but Steve is holding up the pace there on Battle Z Mini.
Yeah, and with Steve holding him up, Richard is now closing that gap as we got a yellow flag sector 3.
Poe's got Paul still struggling around, and that's going to be a safety car. Now, Poe's got Bo has lost his front wing. He's going to have to make his way all the way around the track to go into the pit lane for a new wing as he goes shooting off the track. Do you see where he is right now?
Yes, that's
a bit peculiar,
to say the least. I was actually switching back to Grimmy, about to say Grimmy, this helps him out a lot.
Of course, but the only thing is now the sun is starting to come out a little bit, even though the rain is still there. Do you think we could be seeing someone take the risk on a set of slicks here, or do you think that we're going to see everyone going in for a set of intermediates if they go into the pit lane?
If they were to go into the pit, it's way too soon for those slicks. This track is still soaked, and there's no dry line. With it, slicks, you want to see that dry line. You need that dry line to work for that new slicks in. Get the temperature into them and not slide.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see. Again, F1 Far's extraordinary lead of 3 seconds will go down to a measly 5/10 at the restart. And I think F1 Far, with an extraordinary dominant race here, breaking into the second barriers during qualifying, and has been leading with such pace and consistency, he could be upped here for driver of the day potentially for just having such a dominant race. But also, it could also go to Michael after starting at the back, serving a quali ban here tonight.
Pits.
Well, let's see what he does. A lot of the drivers going into the pit lane I'm seeing right now, actually. Even Battle Z Mini. Dundry stays out, actually.
Dundree's looks like the only driver to be staying out.
Yep, and everyone is going in for a new set of intermediates.
Well, actually, we got...
Dopey Lemons has a front wing change. That was why he was so far behind.
And we got Mogi as well. Mogi did not come in.
And nor did Angry Dutch Guy. So with those drivers making the earlier pit stop, they've actually didn't even find a need to make another pit stop.
Yeah,
so,
because of their early pits, Mogi's made 2 pit stops already.
Yeah, because he had that spin at the beginning with the front wing to get a new front wing. Right as the safety car came out, he had another front wing, another change on those tires. So he's already done 2 of them. Grimmy has just gone past Poe's Gabbo while he's in the pit lane for a new front wing. But, James, I'm actually going to leave them with you real quick. We're going to be on board with, well, not on board, but with Dundrees, because I got to use, let's just say, you know what I got to do. I'll be right back.
Okay. So we got Dundrees and 4 laps old Inters. F1 Farf coming into the pits, so he's got 0 lap old Inters. Going to need to heat them up to have a chance to get Dundrees on this restart. Mogi is currently 3rd with 3 laps old, along with Angry Dutch Guy with 3 laps old intermediates. Kiddle, with not going into the pits, has left himself with 10 lap old Inters. And I'm just looking down the field. Paul's got balls has gone onto a medium compound. My opinion, far too early for this compounded tyre. We will have to keep an eye on that. And going on to penalties, Mogi with a drive-through penalty. Kiddle has 3 seconds, Pablo with an 8-second time penalty, Tomo with a 3-second time penalty. And as for our current leader Dundrees, looking to get that restart on F1 Farf. And let's have a look here, Battlesy Mini. Battlesy Mini currently residing in 7th with Michael back in 11th place, being taken by some of the drivers that didn't come in for that pit stop. This could potentially slow him down, or it could work in his favor. We'll have to wait and see about that one. As I believe our main commentator is back. Possibly not. Anyway. So as standings are, Williams are gonna catch Ferrari big time unless Ferrari can do something to catch back up to these Williams drivers. But getting the most points at the minute would be...
And I'm back. And I was gone, I heard that correctly. Pole's got Bo on a set of mediums.
Yes, you did hear that correctly. He is on a set of mediums. Far too early.
So well, I mean, he's going to be given the test for all of the drivers out there. So, this could be an interesting one. Kittle's still with 11 lap old set of intermediates as well.
Yes, and also Mogi with a drive-through penalty.
Oh wow, so a lot of stuff has happened.
Well, you could say that.
What do you mean I could say... hold on. What did I miss?
You didn't miss much.
Okay. Because I swore I heard everything. At least the main thing was with Post Got Bold testing up the set of slicks. Michael's in the chat as well. Came on, James, keep talking. What comment did you say? Come on now.
I didn't say nothing. I just thought you came back earlier than what you did.
I'm gonna watch this back. I'm gonna watch this back actually while I was gone.
I was just giving everyone an update on tires, compounds, how old the tires were.
How long I was on the toilet?
Of course I wouldn't time that. I would never do such a thing.
Siri, stop timer. But now, Poe's got Bo's just got another 3 seconds, and is the safety car in this lap, actually?
It would be a very late call.
Well, I guess it is. You can see the gap between Dundrees and F1 and the safety car now.
I didn't get any notification.
Well, looks like we're going to be back underway, and I think Poe's got Bo... Yeah, I thought it was going to be dry enough at the end of the safety car, but...
No, it's still way too wet. As a driver, I can see that. What you need is that dry line. The minute that you can start seeing that dry line, that's when the slicks come into effect. That's when you need those slicks.
But do you think that could give us a little bit of a hint that there could potentially be a dry end to this race?
I mean, there is every chance, but with this rain still coming down, we're more than halfway through this session now.
Oh, huge contact! Sorry, we just missed it. Huge contact between Michael F1 and KK Layers as Richard now goes into the wall. Richard now, no front wing around turn 1. KK Layers just tried to look on the inside of Michael and just did not come out on top. And when he rejoined, actually had a little bit of contact with Richard from what it looked like as he goes into the wall. So that's going to go down with you as being one of the stewards. But now back up front, Don Dries is actually still ahead. Oh, a huge push from F1 Farth on Don Dries. So he's going fully aggressive at the start of this, and he has lost his left end plate now, missing the braking zone. So F1 Farth now with a little bit of a handicap with that front wing is going to make another pit stop in this race.
And Mogi is having a good look at him. Mogi's making a small tap.
A little bump, but Mogi still has to go into the pit lane regardless. He has a drive-through penalty that he would have to serve. So, this is going to be an interesting one. Yellow flag for Pole's got ball.
Going on that, and he's done it. Mogi's got it.
Well, with F1 Fard losing that end plate, he's practically a sitting duck at this point.
And here comes
holding
Angry.
up the pack as well.
Angry Dutch guy and Steve. Yep, they're going through.
And now Battle Z Mini. Oh, and F1 Farth bumping a little bit into that braking zone. He's actually holding up Battle Z Mini as they make their way towards the bus stop chicane. Battle Z Mini is just going to be a little bit patient and just wait. Dopey Lemons is not going to be patient though. Dopey Lemons is not going to be patient. He's going to look for the space around Kittle. Couldn't get the job done there. A little bit of a slippery exit there from Michael. Was able to save it there. A good save there from Michael. And he's going to be closing in on Kittle and Dopey Lemons.
Oh, he's going through the middle.
He's going to make it 3 wide.
Oh,
he almost got sandwiched
there.
He almost got sandwiched there. That would have been a huge, huge incident. But now Michael does know he has the pace to get past them both. He'll just have to get the better exit up El Rouge. He's trying to get it. He is closing the gap now on Kittle. Kittle takes the defensive line on the inside. Steve has just gotten past Angry Dutch guy. Actually, no, they're going to go side to side around the chicane at the end of the Camel Straight, but he makes it through. Michael F1 also gets past Kittle, and he is back to where he was before the safety car, up to 6th place.
And again, this is now putting Battle Z Mini aware of Michael's position.
So now Battle Z Mini is seeing his rival catch up with the pack, and this could be a seriously messed up race here. Marky says, come on, Albert. Marky, who's Albert? I'm joking, that's Angry Dutch guy. I always have that joke with Marky and the rest of the admins with Angry Dutch guy. Who's Albert? But Michael F1 now is starting to close in a little bit on Dopey Lemons, and actually, Marky says that best. Dopey Lemons got a little bit screwed over with that safety car after he had to go into the pit lane there. But I mean, Dopey Lemons is up to 5th place, so I wouldn't say that he got the worst out of it.
Getting the best out of it, I think, had to have been Steve.
Exactly, up to 3rd now in the podium positions. And I do gotta say, our biggest winner still, again, is going to be Michael F1, where F1 Farth is our biggest loser here. Just had that end plate being lost after getting contact with the diffuser of Don Dries. Down turn 8, sorry. And now he has lost 13 positions after starting on pole.
And that also really hurts the Alpine team.
Oh, but look at this now. Michael is going past Dopey Lemons now, and now Michael has his rival in his sights of Battle Z Mini. This could be the time that Michael F1 was waiting for to close the gap on him and Battle Z Mini for the Drivers' Championship. Even though it's still early in the season, you want to get yourself as close as possible and far away. Actually, past them and get far away with the points to secure yourself that lead. But Battle Z Mini now has Michael F1 one position behind, a 2nd and 2/10, and closing down to a 2nd now as they make their way towards turn 12.
an angry Dutch guy heading this train with Steve, Battlesy Mini, and Michael slowly catching the back of that train there.
But now, with that being said, you can see the gap between Michael and Battlesy Mini closing is getting pretty close there. Battlesy Mini does have the aid of some slipstream. Zippo is saying, come on, Grimmy, comeback drive is on for Grimmy. Yeah, he did have that spin, actually, yeah, and he's back up to 9th, so he's doing an extraordinary job. But I think the main highlight here is going to be Michael and Battlesy Mini, because with now on lap 17 out of 22, this
and Michael
could...
sets fastest lap.
Okay, no, lap 16 of 22. Sorry, I thought I was going to change to 17 as they cross the line. But now there's a yellow flag with Polska Ball.
Oh, it's
on
Pablo.
On the chicane of turns 5, 6, and 7. Oh, and same with Pablo, actually, yeah, with F1 Farth. And F1 Farth just takes the fastest lap. You can see now 6/10, 7/10 separate Michael F1 and Battlesy Mini. Michael F1 just needs to keep his head down, and he is going to be right on the tail end of his main competitor. Them two been fighting throughout the season, and is going to be a mid-season battle between them two to get as many points for the Drivers' Championship. And just to remind you guys, actually, of the standings between those two up front. So Battlesy Mini, of course, is in the lead by 123 points. Michael with 102, so only 21 points separate them. But still plenty of races left in the season. This is going to be practically, it could be a decider here to see if Michael can have some sort of opportunity to make this a long-lasting battle throughout the season.
Absolutely, and with 6 laps to go here, it gives us a good indication. Sector 3 safety.
Yep, that's Paul's got ball. He's still struggling with those set of slicks. I don't doubt that he's going to go into the pit lane for a set of intermediates.
Yeah, and as you say that,
now.
yeah, it goes, yep. Like I said, it was way... Oh, and he's spun in the pit. We spin in the pit.
Well, look how close they are now. Michael F1 and Battlesy Mini. Polska Ball has retired in the pit lane. Looks like those slicks just did not work out for him, and he's going to be taking an early leave. But now 4/10, close to 3/10 between 4th and 5th, the two main protagonists of the driver standings. This could be the ending of a lifetime here. It could be the race of the season, potentially. But still, the gap shortens down. Battlesy Mini with a slow exit around Al Rouge. Michael F1 is going to try and bite around the outside. He has the faster end.
I believe I've just lost my commentator there. Hello, Justin? Oh, no. There we go. So, hello guys. Looks like I'll be finishing off this comms box as Michael F1 gets the move done around, but... So, Michael F1 takes that position from Battlesy Mini and taking 4th, but also Battlesy Mini getting a 3-second time penalty for cutting a corner. Now this works heavily in Michael's favour. No, with Michael not needing to finish in front of his main rival Battlesy Mini. This was going to cut down the points.
The stream is off. I just fully disconnected.
It's fine. I'm still going.
Oh, you're still going? Okay.
Absolutely. I've still got my stream going.
Okay, I'm trying to get back in there. Hold on. Right as it got good. Did Michael actually get past?
Michael has fully passed with Battlesy Mini getting a penalty. I've sent you an invite. I've sent you an invite.
No need. I think the invite from Steve. Oh, actually, no. I just received it. Thank you. You have got to be kidding me.
Yeah, but Z Mini picking up a 3-second time penalty as Steve made a mistake. Michael not able to capitalize on that mistake from Steve. Steve's got a slow exit. Michael's making it up. He's
trying
right
to
on
get
the
back
tail
in.
end.
All I'm praying is this
He's
does
on the
not glitch out
inside.
the lobby.
He's sticking it around the inside, and Steve got the better of him there, but the cutback's on. Steve with good defensive driving, but Steve made a mistake. Michael's on the inside. Michael is still on the inside. Steve's now on the inside for... Oh, Steve backs out of it. Michael getting up to P3. And with Steve now holding up Battle Z Mini. And Battle Z Mini about to come under pressure from Dopey Lemons. As a safety car has come out. A safety car is out, and I don't know where it's caused, that safety car.
I have no idea. I just got back in. Hold on. Oh, I cannot believe that just happened. I really cannot believe that just happened.
I heard.
Right, was actually getting good too.
I heard your mic cut out, and I was like, oh, I think I've just lost my main commentator.
You have got to be kidding me. Sorry guys, if you guys are just queuing in, we had a little bit of a disconnect on my end. Pays me right for being in the middle of a freaking ocean, but
any sort of missed video can be found on my stream, which will be posted into SRM Discord as well.
Yes, and what I might have to do actually is have someone get the two clips together, merge them, and then try to post it as just one thing. Oh, I can't believe that just happened. I'm sorry guys for the inconvenience. Sorry for that disconnect, but we are back. We are back at it for SRM Esports Season 4 Round 7. Sorry again for the disconnect, and it was just getting good as well. As Michael F1 now finds himself up to third, and as actually James just said, it was actually with a mistake off of Steve, if I do remember correctly.
Yeah, Steve had a small slide going into the last corner. Michael then able to capitalize by cutting that gap down on Steve. Steve then left the inside open, coming out of En Rouge. Then Michael and Steve had a small battle. Steve coming out on top, going into the S-bend. Michael goes back on the inside, capitalizing on some grip that he found, then just getting the move done just before this corner we're on now in the safety car.
Yep, and now this could be a last-ditch run for these drivers, and everyone's still on a set of intermediates, one-stop strategies with the top 8, and right now, Michael F1 will be shortening that gap of the Drivers' Championship lead by an extraordinary amount if it stays like this. But of course, with Michael F1, he's going to be aiming for the race win. If you guys are just queuing in, I'm seeing some people join in. Sorry, we had a little bit of a disconnect on my end of the session and the stream. Just lost full connection to any sort of servers. But we are back. You didn't miss much, but if you want to see the battle with Michael F1 and Battle Z Mini, it would be on the Highlander stream. And is that on YouTube or Twitch, James?
YouTube, and I can, if you send me the clip through, I could possibly edit that down for us.
Would really be grateful for that if you could. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's a late safety car here tonight, and it looks like it's still going to be staying out, so we could be having a 2-lap ditch effort to end round 7. And since it's actually coming to the near end, actually, James, we got to start talking about driver of the day. And I think there can only be one person for it.
Absolutely, like from back of the pack, you cannot have any arguments.
Exactly, and plus the first ever, and just for. Also, even though this didn't really be included, but still a good fighter out there, has improved throughout the weeks with his clean racing, knows when to back out of incidents, as we did see him almost going 3 wide and almost getting squeezed at the end of, actually at the beginning of El Rouge. But I think so far Michael F1 definitely has the favorite.
Absolutely, unless F1 Farf can do something quite drastic here. Michael F1's going to get driver of the day, or even Andy could possibly do something out of the ordinary, because Andy also may coming from the back of the grid, coming up to P8.
And also Grimmy as well, if you do remember, started in the high position though.
Yes,
had
recovery
that incident
drive.
that made him
yes.
so far behind. He was around 40 seconds away from KG Layers in 13th, when he was in 15th at the time. And he has actually pushed his way back up the grid to 7th, and it really just shows the true power and mindset of these Ferrari drivers here tonight, leading the Constructors' Championship. Just kept on going with an iron fist, and let's say an iron fist that doesn't have too many scratches, because they've been pretty clean, well, except for Grammy spinning out, but I think that's been the only incident they've been a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. These two Ferrari drivers showing their worth today.
Well, it really proves it, and I think this is going to be the last lap of safety car here tonight.
It should be.
Any safety cars after this, well, actually any incentives after this, there wouldn't really be a safety car as it's coming to the near end of the race. Of course, if the drivers are in the top 10 and they complete more than 90% of this race, which is actually pretty much now, they would still be eligible to get points. But with that being said as well, as it stands now, Michael F1 is your driver of the day coming to the near end of this race, but
Grimmy,
still,
Andy, and F1 Farf, all honourable mentions for that driver of the day.
of course, Grimmy, Andy, F1 Fart, even Battle Z Mini as well. Keeping it clean, getting good battles over the field. I was actually looking at the Discord chat as well. That 3 seconds could be getting removed if it was due to a driver pushing, like battling themselves and had to go off the track to avoid an incident. And from what it looked like, that's actually what occurred. So that could happen. It is currently in the talks, but Dundrees now is going to be starting the final 2 laps, now with the penultimate lap of the race, 21 out of 22. Let's see how he takes this now as he crosses the line for the restart. An amazing restart, I gotta say, for him. Angry Dutch Guy just got caught off guard, and Michael F1 right on the tail end.
As Tomo's taking up positions, taken out from Kittle in P11.
And you can see that these drivers, a good restart for them. Steve as well with a good start. A little bit of a shaky line up our Rouge. That could be giving Battle Z Mini an opportunity.
Oh, Andy coming under pressure.
And Angry Dutch Guy as well. Michael is going for the move around the outside. He is now a full car length ahead. Is Angry Dutch Guy going to fight that? No, he is not. Michael F1 now takes 2nd place.
Andy and Farf having a good battle, but Farf just takes it.
And is Mogi going to be trying to get it out as he goes around the inside? And he's got it. Oh, actually, does he now? They're still going side to side. We have a pretty good angle here with the helicopter for that battle for 9th. And there you go. Mogi does take it now. And he is up to 9th place.
As there's a nice little battle currently going on for 3rd place as well. You've got Steve, Battle Z Mini, and Angry Dutch Guys.
Oh, and you can see he's getting pretty close out there. He's getting really, really close.
That last podium spot.
And you know, Angry Dutch Guy is trying to hold on to that position with all of his might against the big names of Steve and especially the Drivers' Championship leader of Battle Z Mini in 5th, Richard. Richard. Where is Richard? Richard down to 13th, actually. To be honest with you, I don't know why I said Richard. But, but what's it called? With Angry Dutch Guy
Steve, good looking over the outside!
Oh, he's fighting it! He is fighting it! That could be giving Battle Z Mini an opportunity
and
to get
Grimmy
past.
coming under pressure from Farf.
And same goes with Dopey Lemons. That battle right there for 3rd is really going to get a little bit spicy here.
F1 Farf makes dive around the inside.
Has he got it? They're still going side to side. And he's got it. Now he's looking around the outside potential of Dopey Lemons.
He could not get it, but he's still fighting it there. F1 Farth right on the tail end. Can he
And
get past him?
Mogi-
To Steve! And Angry Dutch Guy for the podium position! And Steve gets it! He's in third. Michael F1 is closing the gap now on Dundrees. Close to a second now, where previously it was around 2 seconds. We could be seeing Michael with a last-ditch effort. Battlesea Mini just gets past Angry Dutch Guy. F1 Farth giving himself a little bit of a tougher time.
Angry Dutch Guy fighting it back, though.
And F1 Farth makes up the position to 5th. Close battle. Angry Dutch Guy just
The Dopey Lemons on the inside. He's looking.
He's looking for
He's
it.
looking.
It's the last lap. He's going for it. But he couldn't get it. Angry Dutch Guy keeps that position. But now, Dundrees is going to be trying to push as far as he can. Michael F1 is closing the gap for the race lead. It was around 2 seconds. Now 6/10, 7/10. As they make their way into the final sector. This is Michael's last chance. Going all out with the ERS for both of them.
Farth
F1
spun!
Farth has spun around! And he falls down the pecking order. Down to 13th. Could be 15th at this point. And there you go.
Oh, Michael's made
push.
contact!
But that was it. Dundrees comes across the line. Got taken it away from Brazil. Makes it count here tonight as he
And
gets...
Steve coming in third.
What a battle there. Battlesea Mini could be finishing in 4th at the end of this if that 3 seconds gets provoked. Well, revoked, not provoked. Revoked. Oh! Tomo spins around the final corner!
Oh no!
Oh, no!
No.
But now, with that being said, Tomo spins around the final corner, misses out on points, but his teammate of Dundrees is your winner here tonight. Got it taken away at Brazil, is able to come back here at Spa and get the race win. Michael F1, the Codemasters driver of the day with the most positions gained. And I do gotta say, commentator's driver today. I forgot what my job title was.
Oh, there's always some mistakes with us.
Always. We're still learning it through, but I think those mistakes just get a little bit more funnier content at the end, and that's all we want. We just want some good, clean racing, some funny content, just to make it a little bit more enjoyable. But that is going to be it for round 7 of season 4. Sorry, I'm still struggling here. Next week, actually, ladies and gentlemen, we will be at where usually every season ends in Formula 1, Abu Dhabi, for the 6th of April. Mark that on your calendars. We'll be here, same place, same time. But what an extraordinary race. Michael F1 started second last, finished in second. What a race for him as he pushes his way even closer for the Drivers' Championship, I gotta say, James.
Absolutely, and Andy and Grimmy getting back up. The Grimmy coming back from that recovery drive, and Andy coming from the back of the grid. Both of those drivers having an extraordinary race, as well as, well, F1 Farth was making up positions, but just lost it nearer the end.
Had a dominant race from start to mid. With that second safety car, he really messed up. And with the safety car restart, trying to make it back, but just got unfortunate with it. If the stewards need it, I'm going to run down the incidents from the first lap all the way down, just in case if they need it. But with that being said, of course, though, that is going to be it for SRM Esports here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as we'll be back here next week for round 8 of Abu Dhabi. And from me, it's a big thank you.
And from me as well.
And we hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Lots of love and stay safe, everybody.